Yikes. Things are going crazy here. So, I have an audience. My name is Curtis Morrison, and it's Wednesday, so today is Let's Talk Immigration. Today, I want to talk a little bit about what we're doing to fight the travel ban. Okay. We continue, first of all, to take immigration cases like mandamus lawsuits for people who have immigration delays. We will always do that. And I give free consults to help you and guide you if there's something we can help you with. Many times I can't, have to send you to someone else. But we've got this new focus right now because Trump put out this travel ban on the 4th of June. It went into effect on the 9th of June. And we have four ways that we're going to challenge that. Okay. First, in two existing lawsuits, one CM 178 for employment-based applicants, and one in CM 328. That's a student group. Both of those are before Judge Chutkan in DC. We are amending complaints in both of those lawsuits. The first one, we're going to file the proposed amended complaint this week in the CM 178. And CM 328 will probably be next week. What we're going to do with these proposed amended complaints is we're going to challenge the travel ban under what's called the delegation doctrine, non-delegation doctrine, basically saying that it's not constitutional that INA 212F allows Trump to basically write immigration law and decide who gets to come and who gets to go. Not who gets to come and who gets to go. Who doesn't get to come. We're also going to have a cause of action related to the fact that 212F is an entry ban, not an issuance ban. And then with CM 178, we're going to have a cause of action specific to the fact that when the State Department makes, when the USCIS makes a national interest determination to approve an EB2 NIW petition, the State Department, Secretary of State should adopt that finding of national interest because it's the same United States government that said it was in the national interest. It's only one nation. So the national interest cannot be different in the context of the Department of State from USCIS. We're all on the same team. So that's the other cause of action. There's some other cause of actions that are related and interrelated, and you'll see those, I guess, eventually. So there, I switched to another network. Sorry about that. So we're also going to challenge the ban with two new lawsuits. We are already onboarding one of those two lawsuits. The first lawsuit is for DVs. The second, affected by the travel ban. The second lawsuit is for family preference categories affected by the travel ban. That second lawsuit, we will not be onboarding it until about July 8th. But the DVs, we're onboarding now, and you have less than 6 days to get on board. So let me tell you a little bit about that case. Share screen. You go to our website, which has been scrolling down the bottom of the live, and you click all the way at the top on the banner. It shows case perspectives for DV 2025 selectees blocked by the travel ban. We only want plaintiffs in this lawsuit who are in AP, okay? That means that you've already gone to the interview and then you got stuck in AP, or you've already been given a 212F refusal. That's okay too. We plan to file this lawsuit about July 15th. These are the travel ban countries that are impacted, that are the DV countries. There are 2 more countries that are impacted that are not DV countries, so I didn't list them on this page. So the way you register, oh my gosh, it's almost just 5 days left to register. And registration takes a few steps. So it's not something you could do on the last day, really. I mean, you could try, but really registration needs to happen before then. Let's just walk through the registration real fast. Before I do that, though, I'm going to go ahead and answer Ismail's question, who's over here. I want to travel to Somalia. I have a green card with Somali passport. What is your advice to me, sir? My advice is don't travel to Somalia. I realize that you are an exception to the ban. So if you have a really compelling reason why you need to travel to Somalia, maybe it's worth taking the risk. The risk is minimal because you are an exception to the ban, but there's some peculiar language in the ban. And if there's any way you could avoid travel, that's what's best. But if you must, you are technically an exception from the ban. Okay. With 2 things to keep in mind, even before the ban, green card holders cannot spend an extended amount of time outside the U.S. Unless they get a reentry permit. Your one job as a green card holder is to live in the U.S. Okay, and the second thing is if you have crimes or something that have occurred since you've been a green card holder, I would not leave the U.S. under that situation either. Okay. Okay, so we're going to do a walkthrough of the DV onboarding. Basically, after you click on Get Started, it goes to this page. There's lots of information there about the case that we want you to understand. If you have questions about it, let us know. First thing here is that make sure you understand that you have to pay to participate. This is not one of those lawsuits that you get to, that we work for free, okay, or deferred payment. We can't, we're not in a position to do that right now. So you say, yes, you're okay with that. And then you're a selectee that's already had an interview. If that's the case, you say yes. And then you say what country that you are impacted by. Let's say you are from Cuba, okay? And then you say, I'm not a robot. And then it lets you keep going. And then you could say your name is Don Trump. No, don't do that. Say what your name really is. Okay. And then say what your email address really is. Okay, there's something that is an important tip here I'm going to give. If you are registering for this lawsuit, but you're not the one making the payment, someone in the US is making the payment for you, what you do is go all the way through to the point where you get to the link for the payment and then copy paste that link for the payment to your friend or family member in the US who is making the payment for you. And that works fine. You do not have to redo the whole thing. What would Trump's phone number be? +1202. I am a jerk. No, it doesn't let you do numbers or letters. So we're 33% complete. Something interesting is you'll see questions with the little red asterisk. These are required questions to participate and us to do our due diligence. We need to know this stuff. We need to know what your case number is. If you can't tell us what your case number is, then we can't help you. Okay. Oh wait, we're doing a Cuba. I think Cuba is North America or South America. I can't remember. I forget the numbers. So let's say that I was born in 1995. Wouldn't that be cool? I would be a lot younger and I would be happy. I'm not Iranian. For this thing, we're saying I'm Cuba. I'm from Cuba. Okay. And we're saying I'm just doing a sample. Okay. I'm saying I completed the DS260 on July 1st. I was slow. No, of 2024. And Havana. And my interview was it was last June 2nd. Okay. Now look, there's a place where I can upload stuff. I can click on choose file and upload an image. This says passport bio page. This is a picture of the page in your passport that has your picture. Isn't that neat? I don't know if it works on a phone. Definitely works on a computer. We like to collect your 1NL, your 2NL, but I don't want that to stop you from registering. If you don't have that handy, and you could go ahead and register and then send that, we'll collect that from you later. We do ask some questions. We're just trying to understand your situation. If you want to skip the questions, you could do that, but our complaint gets stronger the more information we have. Look at that, we're half done. Let's pretend like we answered all these questions. Do you have any beneficiaries? This is if you have spouses or children on the application. I'm going to say no, but you could say yes if you have spouses or children. And look at this. It automatically generated a proposed retainer agreement. And it's ready to go, or you can sign it. Don't you love technology? So let's say that we're signing Donald Trump's name, and I bet his signature looks like this. Kind of like his brain. Okay, and then next. And it says take a moment to make sure this is what you want to do. $500, confirm order. And then it's going to take you to the page that you need to, you could send either this link or the next page link to your friend in the USA. When you click on that, this is the link that you send to your friend in the USA or your friend in the West, in Europe or something, who has a credit card. Well, look, a debit card, a credit card, or a bank. But of course, you can't send money from a bank in Iran. You have to use a bank in the West. Okay, so that's how to onboard onto the group lawsuit that we are currently offering. If you have any questions, you could drop those in the comments. I'd be happy to address them. If not, I'm just going to talk about the news for a second. Are you okay if I talk with the news? I think you are. I think you'll be okay. I was just noticing that they opened this camp in Florida, right, where they planning on sending people before they remove them. The Trump administration's in there. A little rain. And the water is flooding the floor. Electric line doesn't pour water. They don't care. So, anyway, I'm really scared of that stuff that's going on in Florida, because the logistics of a mass deportation have never been achieved without genocide, ever. Okay? The U.S. tried it with the Cherokee Indians. It's called the Trail of Tears. It was genocide. The Nazis, of course, tried it. didn't find a place to put everybody, so they resorted to genocide. When they build this tent city thing in the middle of the Everglades, I think it's a dark step in our nation's history, and I'm really worried about what it's going to lead to. So hopefully, saner minds will prevail, and this stuff will get shut down, but things are not looking good right now. Okay. Doesn't look like I have any other questions. Do I have anything else to talk about? No, I don't. If you need to talk to me, go to our website. You can book a free consult there. You can book a consult with someone in your language too that could join us and translate it. And I'm happy to do that for y'all. So have a great week. I'll see you next Wednesday, which is the 9th. I'll see you. Bye-bye.